Hi everyone, and welcome back to Traffic Talk, our monthly look at what's happening in UK retail footfall. I'm Andy, and if you're wondering where episode 7 went, let's just say it didn't make it past the lawyers. The less said about that, the better. Unfortunately, Shona can't join us this month as she's enjoying a well-earned break, so I'm delighted to be joined by someone who has definitely passed legal review, Damien Ritter.
Hi everyone, thanks Andy. I'm Damien and I'm a business development manager. I'm stepping in for a month only, but think of me as retail's version of summer signing.
Excellent, okay. Well, this month we're coming to you from one of London's most interesting retail destinations, 𝐂𝐨𝐿 Yard, right beside King's Cross.
Once a Victorian coal depot that helped refuel London, today it's a home for more than 100 shops, restaurants and leisure brands. A great example of how retail destinations continue to evolve. So Andy, how did July shape up?
So July remained challenging for UK retail, with total footfall down 2.1% year on year. That's an improvement on June, it's minus 3.4%, but still another negative month overall.
And were all the parts of the UK affected equally?
Not at all, no. That's one of the most interesting stories this month. England actually dragged the average down at minus 3%, whilst Wales was flat, Scotland was up 2.7% and Northern Ireland was up 2.6%.
So this wasn't really a UK-wide problem, right?
Exactly. This month's weakness was largely an English story, and it's actually quite unusual to see England as the only UK nation in negative territory.
So what do you think was driving that?
Well, weather was certainly a major factor. England and Wales experienced one of their hottest and driest Julys on record.
And when the sun shines, shopping isn't always on top of the agenda, right?
Exactly. With extreme temperatures, people often swap shopping trips for parks, beaches, gardens and outdoor leisure activities, really. We're just not used to the heat just yet, I guess.
And London seems to have felt that more than most.
Yeah, it did. London was down minus 5.3%, making it one of the weakest performing parts of the country. And I guess if you don't have to commute, why would you in this heat?
So where did the consumers still choose to shop?
So retail parks were the clear winner, up 1.2%. Retailers' shopping centres were down just 1.4%, but the high street suffered the worst at minus 3.8%.
Yeah, that convenience factor again, right? So if you're heading somewhere with a free parking, air conditioning and everything in one place, that's pretty appealing during a heat wave.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where destinations like 𝐂𝐿 Yard become increasingly more relevant. People just want more when they're shopping. They want food, drink, events, entertainment like this, and social experiences. The retail element obviously is still very important, but it often isn't the only reason that people are visiting.
And 𝐂𝐿 Yard actually fits quite nicely with one of the themes we're seeing in the data.
It does, yeah, because while High Street struggled in July, destinations that offer more than just shopping generally perform better.
And 𝐂𝐿 Yard, it's a perfect example of that.
Yeah, Victorian logistics hub turned 21st century retail destination.
And that's what increasingly customers are looking for, not just a place to buy things, but a place to spend time.
Exactly.
So Andy, what's the big takeaway from July?
So at a headline level, UK footfall was down minus 2.1%, but that doesn't really tell the whole story.
Because this wasn't really a UK-wide decline, right?
Exactly. England experienced one of its hottest and driest Julys on record, which appears to have discouraged shopping trips, particularly to high streets.
But consumers haven't disappeared.
Exactly. Retail parks were positive, shopping centres held up relatively well, and destinations like 𝐂𝐿 Yard remind us that people still want experiences, hospitality and reasons to visit.
So the shoppers are still out there.
Yeah, they're just being more selective about where and when they spend their time.
That's it for this month's Traffic Talk, coming to you from 𝐂𝐿 Yard.
Thanks, Damien, for stepping in, and we'll be back next month with another location and the latest footfall story. See you next time.